Hello, this is Dyann Bridges, coming to you from beautiful New Hampshire. And today, I want to talk about toxic femininity. First of all, what is it? Well, toxic femininity or toxic masculinity are just, urban terms to describe somebody who is very abrasive and difficult to get along with most of the time. Whether you're a man or a woman and described as toxic, you're basically somebody who shows up with a lot of negative energy. And more women are walking around like this. Hard, defensive, aggressive, bossy, bitchy, and backstabbing. The three B's of our shadow side, as a woman anyway. Now, how do you deal with this? It's not easy. But basically, you always stay calm. When somebody's basically always abrasive or aggressive to deal with, they're very much in their egos. And they're constantly feeling threatened. By what? We don't know. I'm sure they don't even know. Yet, that's how they're behaving, as if life and everyone and everything in it is a threat. Now, with some of the things going on today, this is not totally a mystery why someone would feel like this. So maybe that's where we can start, is that when you come across someone, a woman with toxic femininity, they've probably been invaded and disrespected many times. What I mean by that is their boundaries have been overstepped, which is all good communication is, by the way, good boundaries. Knowing what your boundaries are and being able to state them. If the other person has the same type of boundaries, then you know where the other person stands, and you both have respect for each other, so you're not going to step over that boundary. If you do so intentionally, then you're a jerk. So the toxicity that comes into a woman's feminine nature is because those boundaries have been violated. Sometimes it's physical or sexual or mental or emotional. The fact is, a woman's energy is much gentler and softer and more yielding. That's the way it's supposed to be. It balances the active, authoritative, and often unyielding energy of the masculine. We all have both in us, and we all have to find a way to find balance within us. I'll have more to say on toxic femininity and toxic masculinity. Here we go. This is Dyann Bridges, once again coming to you from New Hampshire. And I want to do another little spiel on toxic femininity and toxic masculinity. And dealing with this in the workplace, because I know for a lot of people this is really a huge issue. Having to face somebody who is making everything much more difficult than it has to be. And you've got to show up the next day and continue to work. First of all, know that they're engaged with the part of their psyche that is the ego. So it's always going to have to be right, and you don't want to engage that way either. You may have a strong ego yourself, but you don't want to clash that way. It's a waste of energy and time. And you are competing on a much lower level. But if you want to be as productive as possible, and get as much out of that working experience as you can, you've got to get more clever, become more patient. You don't want to pander to them, but view them from a distance. They have the job for a reason. They may be very good at something. You may never fully understand why they're so toxic, but finding something to respect about them will help you view them in a more humane way. Giving out that kind of energy of judgment and criticism and negativity, it always rebounds. And in those deepest thoughts in your mind, always be supportive of yourself. Always do the best that you can. Life and other people do things that we can't control, but you can control your emotions and your perception of your own life. And know that life will support you in return when you understand your value, when you know your worth. You certainly can't be toxic when you know your worth and your value. Thank you for listening, and have a very sensual day.